Ah, oh, are you guys ready for another yarn? First of all, G2G, brother. Glory, glory, glory. Okay. If you died today, describe what you would want people to remember you by as a person using one word. Can't really use one word. Gronk. Nah. Bro, you know what? This reminds me of that. I think they asked Jordan Peterson this question. If you died today, describe what you would want people to remember you by as a person. Maybe someone that cared. Yeah, maybe someone that cared. That definition has probably changed a lot of times throughout my life, but now, yeah, that'd be my answer. If I died today and tomorrow they were saying speeches, I'd want to be remembered as someone that cared. Next one. All right, next question. Who are you most jealous of and wish to be like? Huh. What, like a celebrity or something? Who are you most jealous of and wish to be like? It'd probably be a child, lad. Any child. I'm probably most jealous of a child, eh? In the messed up world we live in today, you know, like the innocence of a child. And not only that, the genuinity. Is that a word? Don't look it up. The genuinity, like just the genuine reactions and feelings of a child. When they're happy, they're happy. When they're sad, they're sad. When they're angry, they're angry. And when they're joyful, when they're excited, they are. They're not pretending to be happy just to, you know, make people, just for likes and for people to feel comfortable around them. They're genuinely happy when they're happy, and they're genuinely sad when they're sad. Their feelings and their emotions aren't perverted, and you know they aren't perverted by the world we live in. The world we live in, bro. Once you go through all of these, once you live through life, bro, you can't really turn back on the way you are. So I'm most jealous of a child, and not only their genuine emotions, but also the way that they can trust fully. The children have the best trust, which can be dangerous sometimes. That's why they have that stranger danger, but it's also beautiful in a way, the way children trust. The way they trust. You ever see a parent walking a kid down a flight of staircases and he's literally just got the grip. It's not even a tight grip, just got on the tip of his fingers, he's holding a child's hand. And that child's trust, just knowing that there's no way my father is going to let go of my hand and let me fall. He starts floating down the stairs, you know, not caring. He trusts. He just fully trusts. He trusts that, you know, nothing is going to happen to him. And I admire that type of trust, you know. I wish I had that type of trust. That's the type of trust that's not perverted and it's not recycled through the world. The real world that we live in today, the reality of this world, betrayals and all that stuff with friends and stuff, you can't trust like that. You can't trust like that. So in a sense, you live your childhood and then somewhere along the way you realize, brother, that's not the go, you know. The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows, you know. Quite funny actually, me mentioning that, bro. Had a friend, had a good friend reach out to me. And this is someone I really, you know, vouched for. I took care of and everything, you know, physically, financially, spiritually as well, you know. Looked after this person and everything, and you can see throughout my recent vlogs, bro, I haven't had the life of an ordinary man, bro. Like a lot of things spiraled out, and my life was anything but normal, bro. Been through a lot of things, and that'll also link into one of the guys asked me in the comments, why did A1, one of the rappers in 21 District, why did he fall off? It was nothing. There was no particular situations, but following a lot of those situations, you know, the brawls, the stabbing, and the snitching allegation, all that type of stuff. It obviously didn't make it easy to be a friend of mine, you know, with the stuff I was getting into. And I don't blame him for it as well, you know. So we kind of we faded off in a respectful manner, you know. I still have all love for him and his family, you know. But yeah, like even all the trouble me and my brothers were getting in to with the cops and the law and that, you know, it's not like if you were to, if there was such an app where you're advertising what a really good friend is, mate, I'd be probably minus 50 on that app with all the stuff I was getting into, you know. So. And mind you, a lot of the stories I talk about, the things that I talk about, there's a lot of things I can't talk about, you know, that involve a lot of things that I was involved with, but just on the respect of I don't want to get anyone else in trouble or just dig up holes that are pretty unnecessary to dig up, you know. But everything I talk about is literally a scratch on the surface of my life. Scratch on the surface. There's so much more that I've endured and been through and accomplished and also became victorious of, but also a lot of struggles and pain that I went through. Anyways, I don't even know how I veered off there. What was I talking about? My friend. This friend I looked after. Oh, bruh, you know what sucks the most? You know, you can see throughout the trials of all my vlogs that how much stuff I've been through, and like you can only get betrayed for a certain amount of times before you put your foot down and you don't let it happen anymore, you know. You can only learn so many times, and before you just, you know, that's it. And it's no hate to anyone at all. Never. I'm too busy to hate anyone. It's an effort to hate someone, bro. It's a full effort, bro. My heart is empty, bro. Like, I got no hate in my heart towards anyone, but you learn to start protecting your heart and your peace, and you love people from afar, like I mentioned before. Bro, because this guy, bro, the more you looked after someone and the more you actually done for that person is the deeper the betrayal is going to take to heal. And like, bro, I really, really took care of this bloke, you know. And he left without any warning, nothing. He just left me, and he left me when I was at my lowest, actually. You know, I'm in a stage of my life now where things are starting to patch up, and I'm doing all right for myself, you know. I'm doing all right, you know. I'm not a millionaire, but I get to enjoy little blessings in my life, like not having to check what goes in the trolley and not caring what restaurant, you know, we eat at. And I tell my family or whoever I'm with, pick whatever they want on the menu. That's the stage of life I'm in now. Praise God. So things are starting to patch up, definitely, but it sucks. It sucks that a lot of people left me when I was at my lowest, because I feel like my loyalty is definitely my downfall, but also a blessing, but also my downfall. Like, I would stick through thick and thin for anyone, you know. One of the biggest things about me is that I look after anyone that looks after me, you know. But just unfortunately, bro, when you have a big heart, bro, it may work against you. And you have to learn the hard way, bro. I still haven't responded to his reach out. And I feel like I wrote and then I deleted, then I wrote, then I deleted. And I've come to the conclusion that like I'm just not going to respond. I feel like not responding sometimes is the best response. That is a response in itself. Anyways, let's get back into the yarn. Today we got a nice little yarn. I'm going to take you guys way back to the what gave me the idea for this yarn is that someone mentioned me in a comment and said that me and my brothers we only came out of the blue when the Ausdrill rap scene started, when 1-4 started rapping. So then that gave me the idea to give you guys a bit of a background give you guys a bit of a background scene to how I first became involved in the area code beef. So, I actually used to frequent St. Mary's back in the day, right? I used to frequent down there, St. Mary's, Mount Druitt, and all the likes of Penrith. I had this little thing going on in St. Mary's. Yeah, I had this little thing going, but that was in the past. That's ages ago, you know. And that's it. That's already done. But yeah, when this thing was happening, I used to always frequent down there, and before 1-4 and all these new gangs that are coming up, and back in my day, in my era, it was IBH. IBH were the boys, most of the boys involving in Parramatta, Granville, Marylands, and there was 3T. Had some of the Vitti boys, the KVT boys, and then before our era was like I think CLC, LL, BK, G40. But G40 has always been there, like throughout all of these eras. All these eras, G40 has always been consistent. Even to this day, they have a lot of depth, G40. And they're like youngins would just rise up in the ranks and just run in the next era and the next era, so forth. Even KVT has actually been around ages ago. They're not new. They're probably gaining notoriety now from like a lot of news clips and that, but they stem way back. Even 5T, that's even way back, 5T. But yeah, I'll just talk a little bit about my era. So my era, when I was growing up, it was predominantly IBH, was Inner West Brotherhood, and when I used to frequent St. Mary's, the main thing over there was YBS. From what I remember, was Young Blooded Soldiers, I think. I think they changed it a couple of times, but that's what it was in my days. And this was, I'm talking 2011, 2012, 2013, before 2014. So I used to frequent up there when I had this thing going on, and I actually knew a lot of the main St. Mary's boys who became Section 60. Now, the boys that you guys know now as Section 60, I knew a lot of them from back in those days. Back in those days, I knew a lot of them, and like I didn't see eye to eye with a couple only. But for the vast majority of them, I'll be honest here, like when I get down to the grit of it, good guys, bro. I'm not gonna, no word of a lie, bro. They're like, when I figured out how everyone is and who they are, I'm like, bro, these guys are exactly like me. They're exactly like me, like with the same thing. We grew up in broken homes. We eat migarine noodles and meat pies, brother. The same thing, the exact same thing. Actually, funny, one of the main rappers of Section 60, I actually used to look after him as like a younger brother when I was growing up. I won't name. Should I name him? Nah, I won't name him just for the sake of just out of respect. Like I don't want this to be that. I don't want it to come across in that way, because I'm only telling this story because I'm a part of it. If I wasn't a part of it, I wouldn't be telling this story. But anyways, one of the main Section 60 rappers, I used to look after this bloke because he used to go to Granville Boys. Was it Granville Boys or somewhere in Maryland's High? But anyways, he used to stay across Guildford Station. And I used to look after this bloke, one of the main rappers of Section 60. I was looking after him and his two younger brothers as well. I was looking after his younger brothers, Charlie and Selwyn, when they were young. I used to babysit them, and I knew his mother very well as well. Very nice lady, very, very nice lady. His mother actually would look after me as well. She would also feed me and that, and a lot of times when I was running away from home, when I was doing that thing with my brother, with Malik, when me and Malik kept running away from home, she used to shelter me. She used to take me in, And so, yeah, knowing all this, I was in a tug of war with because my brother was like hard into the area code beef, Joey. But because I had that thing up there, for me, I was tied between, because my brother didn't know the boys the way I knew him. I do it the way I knew a lot of the boys. So I thought someone just called me. And so I did have like I think it was like two two fights with some of the boys up there that I didn't see eye to eye with, but I wouldn't even classify it as a fight. Like nothing, wasn't really. I'll call it more of an argument, if anything, more of a disagreement. Like it wasn't that much. It's not vlog worthy, you know. But all I can say was that some of the boys that I met up there, it's predominantly St. Mary's and Mount Druitt. Predominantly, it's no secret. Predominantly, it's Samoan. You know, a lot of Samoan boys up there, and some Māori boys up there as well. There are a couple Tongans, but very, very few. Here in the inner west, I think a big mistake that a lot of people don't know is that it's not mainly Tongans here in the inner west. It's a big mixed culture of like Middle Eastern, Turkish, Afghans, Lebos, everything, even Iraqis. And then you got some Fijians, you even got Sudanese here, you got Samoans and then Tongans. Tongans play a very small part of the boys here in the inner west. But it doesn't help that all the 21 district rappers were Tongan. But then I can see why everyone tried to make that Tonga versus Samoa feud, you know. Sometimes people, I hate how people use that racial agenda to fuel like negative stuff. There are positive ways like the NRL and that, and I love it. I feel like Tonga versus Samoa is probably the biggest stage of football there is. I reckon it's bigger than Origin, I'll be honest with you. There is a bit of healthy banter, but then some of you guys ruin it, you know? You guys go too far. Because at the end of the day, we're all one people, bro. We're all one people, bro. Some of my very close mates are Samoan. My wife is half Samoan, half Lebanese. So, like, I hate how people try and make it a Tonga versus Samoa thing. It never was like that for me. So, yeah, but anyways, going back to what I was saying, yeah, I used to frequent up there and I knew a lot of the boys over there. In those days as well, I also knew Nasa. Nasa was also around that time as well, before 1-4 became a thing. It was the YBS boys as well. Nasa was definitely around the way. A lot of the KVT boys, the G40 boys, all of them. And you had some of the Granville boys. You had some of the Langi boys, Sueli Langi, Patrick Langi, Semi Langi, very, very, very close friend of mine. And all of these boys are 501s now, God bless them. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, and then going back into those days, that's like the NF, I think NF14, when they first came around in 2014, mate, I didn't know anything about them. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. I actually didn't know anything about them because my era was before them, and then they came up. I believe that they were established in 2014 and that. And then yeah, so going through all of this, let me just go back, let me rewind a little bit. Like the amount of the people that I knew from St. Mary's, from my era, mind you, and even through this feud, this code war, this area code feud, there was still a bunch of them that were still very respectful towards the whole thing that's happening. And now I feel so stupid because you know, like I did have a good, I actually had some good friendships with some of the boys there who were like stand-up guys, you know. There was a couple stand-up guys, but I feel like I ruined that friendship from the route I took, you know. Do I regret it? It's hard to answer that because, like, you know, my brothers are my brothers. If no one's going to be there for my brothers, who is, you know? At the end of the day, so every man has to draw the line in the sand one day, you know. I'm just glad that today I'm drawing a different line, bro, you know. That's what it's all about, you know. You got to back your brothers, whatever it is, you know. That's why I'm glad, like, the way we're changing now, I would never want to do it by myself. I'm glad all of my brothers are on board because this is how it should be. If you change and you're on your own, like, what kind of a brother really are you, bro? If you're not helping your brothers, you know, if you know that this is the way and you're not helping your brothers, you know, it's gonna be hard, but you got to start the conversations. That's how it starts. It just starts from having uncomfortable conversations, lad. How much do you really care about your brother, you know? Have those uncomfortable conversations. But anyways, going back to it, during that stabbing that happened that I explained in the other vlog, one, one of the blokes, one of the guys that I knew from back in the day in St. Mary's actually reached out to me. Listen to this. This is how much of a stand-up bloke this guy is, you know. He reached out to me and he was like sending paragraphs. Now, I kept it a secret. I kept it a secret, not only like mainly for him, because like I could have easily exposed him, you know, like to everyone and be like, bro, look at this cunt, you know, why are you messaging me? Why are you being, you know? But I didn't, because I respected the way he approached me. After he found out I got stabbing, instead of bantering on me, he messaged me, bro, like he messaged me a full paragraph and he goes, you know, nothing's ever changed. Nothing's ever changed from how it was before, you know, like just be careful, you know, don't like, it's not like how, this is what he said. It's not like how it used to be, because from our era, it was all punch-ons, you know, it was clean one-on-ones, you know. Even the one-on-one I had in St. Mary's, they actually respected it. The one-on-one I had in St. Mary's in the alleyway, a lot of the boys were there, but no one jumped in, you know, everyone just stood around us. And they were actually like peacemakers. There were peacemakers behind me, and from there, that made sure, older boys from there that just made sure that none of the younger boys even thought to jump in, and that was the era I came from, you know. But then slowly, I don't know where it changed. It just, it changed, you know. It stopped being about honor and it started being about whoever can get the win, no matter what, like stabbing, jumping, whatever, you know. But anyways, yeah, I really respected this bloke's message. He reached out to me, which he never had to, but just out of the care and thoughts, you know, he reached out and he said, you know, just take care of yourself, Dux. It's not like how it used to be in our day, you know. You got to be careful. Everyone is carrying knives around these ways and that. And I truly respected it. Now I look back at it now, you know, I feel like, man, like I remember all these little things along the way, and you know, I don't just forget them. You know, when someone shows their heart to me and a bit of respect, bro, I'll never forget it, bro, because I was raised on that, you know. I was raised on a lot of those morals. People that stand out and choose to stand against the grain and fight against the grain, I actually, you know, I have props for. I commend people like that. And then you have the whole lot that everyone else knows that just want to be sheep. They want to jump in because it's cool. They, you know, they just want to be a follower. They don't want to be a leader, you know. They're scared to stand against the boys because they don't want to get jumped or questioned, you know. So you know, they join in on the banter. But you know what's actually funny? Even before taking this vlog, one of those boys that I know from around the ways in the St. Mary's days actually just messaged me, which I'm not going to name just out of respect for him. But when I saw his name pop up in my inbox, bro, I was like, you know, I was like, man, this guy, bro. And like one of the best blessings I have for like seeing this whole change is like rekindling, not so to speak rekindling friendships, but just seeing a lot of names that I respected back in the day, because they were people of honor, you know. I feel like people are scared to say, oh yeah, this guy is a man of honor, only because he's from your enemy's area or he's from your enemy's gang. As a man, like, I'm not scared to say, oh, this guy's a soldier, you know, he's proper. He's an honorable person, you know. But yeah, for other people, they feel like the way that the Ausdrill scene has tainted all of these boys' hearts, all these boys, we're trying to make these boys become men now, because they're wanting to lie through their teeth to put other people down, because that's what they're taught. They're not taught to tell the truth of what happened and to tell people what a spade is. A spade is a spade. If you see someone honorable and if you honor something, you respect something, say it like a man. Don't be a little girl and hide behind all the boys and just join in on all the conversations with the boys. Say it for what it is, bro. I've always been that person, bro, and I haven't been it to a T, but I'm glad that like now I'm trying to become that person. And the reason why I'm sharing these vlogs is so I can share these virtues and these attributes with all you young fellas. This is what it is to be a man, bro. Be against the grain, bro. Don't be a follower like all the other boys. You know, don't be a yes man. When all the boys are like talking about something at drink cups, and then everyone is like, yeah. Brother, don't be that guy. You know, someone's telling a bullshit story and you don't want to check him. You're like, yeah. This bloke can even say, oh yeah, and then I touched a kid, and you used to be like, yeah. You gotta be careful, bro. But yeah, like to wrap it up, is it time to wrap up? I feel like that's already 24. I don't want to bore you guys. Do you guys want to get bored, lad? But yeah, like after all of that YBS stuff and all of that happened, and then that's when the 1-4 boys made the music, which I never knew about who 1-4 was. You know, they came and they made the message, and that got sent to me in the Snapchat. I've told you before, that got sent to me in the Snapchat. I never seen the rappers before. See the rappers that you know now, I've never known them. I've never seen them before. I knew all the other boys who, from St. Mary's and that. Those are the boys that we all learned from the area. And those boys know us, and then we know those boys. So that's when my name first started going around, J-Lex, in those areas. But yeah, those guys must have came up, and then yeah, it is what it is. That's that. But I guess one of the exciting things I wanted to wrap up this message is if you're one of those old heads from the YBS days, from the St. Mary's days, lad, what a laugh. Like I remember there was a few brawls that happened at St. Mary's Station and that with the IBH boys and stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, we had some good times, bro. You know, even through all the fights, the arguments, and like even the drink ups we had together. I drank with a lot of the boys from there as well. Yeah, so that was my era. Anyways, let's wrap this up, brother. For any of you old heads from there, from St. Mary's and Mount Druitt, after seeing that message from the bloke that messaged me, bro, like I had a lot of respect for him, you know, because it takes nuts to reach out to. I realize one thing I've realized, that sometimes I judge and I think that because I changed, why aren't you guys changing? You know, like, brother, like, wake up to yourself. But I need to remember, not everyone's journey is my journey. Not everyone's mission is my mission. And I'm human as well, you know. I'm gonna make mistakes, and like sometimes I'm gonna, you know, like my human side will come out a bit, and I'll apologize for that, you know. Sometimes I need to let God do what God does best. Sometimes I feel like I need to be doing God's work, but God does what he does, you know. I'm just a part of his plan. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Yeah, I'm smiling because, like, bringing up all these stories, I remembered some really good times, you know, back in the days. Remember some really good times. But yeah, I'm hoping that these vlogs can, you know, eventually bring a lot of unity with a lot of us, bring all of our boys back together, and focus on our families and what's important, lad. Making bread, lad. Making money. There's no point of, you know, egging this, you know, this rubbish on. I don't even have the time for it, so I bet you guys don't have the time for it as well, you know. Don't be shy to reach out to me, lad. I'm more than happy to have a yarn with anyone, lad. So as long as your heart is in the right place and, you know, you got a good soul. But yeah, that's how small Sydney is, bro. That's how small Sydney is. Sydney is so small, bro. A lot of like people that you guys think that we don't know each other. We actually, a lot of us know each other, bro. Sydney is too small, bro. Even in the street game as well, bro. I've seen a lot of names in the street game come across my table. When you're in the street game, and especially if you're making, once you pass a certain threshold and you're making that certain amount of dough, some names come across your desk. Like, not your desk, but, you know, some names will come past you. It's inevitable. And like, to be honest, there are some rappers, I'm not going to name, but there are some rappers in the scene who are making, you know, well, I don't know now, but at that time we're making serious money, bro. Serious money. And I know because, like, I've been in some rooms and I've heard some conversations, important conversations that had stuff to do with my stuff as well. And yeah. But the vast majority, unfortunately, isn't. But that's all right. That's how it is, you know. Sometimes you have to, you know, fake it till you make it. Conor McGregor wore a fake Rolex for years before he bought the new one. And he's like, the way he explained it is, I love it, bruh. Sometimes you have to fake it to make it. You have to see it, and then you're gonna, you know, you put it in place. So he wore a fake Rolex. I don't know if this is a true story. I just saw an article, but he wore a fake Rolex because he knew he was gonna get a new one. So he wanted to get the feeling of it first, and then so and so, yeah, he ended up getting the real one, you know. Good on him, bro. Anyways, lads, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. That's it for tonight. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Subscribe for some more. I've got a really mad story on the next one, lad. So I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yo, healing energy, Lex, yo, gang, healing energy just in case. I know my enemies hate this, better me trying to seal up my fate. Myself the pain like Bane when Bruce Willis to live.